Greetings, Radio Nation. This week, we're taking on the University of Texas El Paso Miners. This should be one of the easiest games we play all season, other than Kansas. For UTEP may have been a decent team last season, somewhat. This season, they are not really looking all that impressive. And I'm sure even a team like Sam Houston State, no offense against them, they're a quality ball club, could handily beat them. I mean, watching that game against Arkansas, I didn't really see a team that is all that good. I mean, granted, in the first half, they kind of kept it close. They kept it competitive. They were in it. But once that second half rolled out, they just rolled over and Arkansas just ran right over them, literally and figuratively. I mean, it's just not a very good ball club this season. I mean, and you can normally tell when a team is somewhat good or decent when they're playing against a really quality opponent versus a pretty bad team facing off against the same team. I mean, you can just tell by how many yards the teams get and how close they keep the score. Other than if you, upset things. But those are more anomalies than indicators how good a team is. But that doesn't mean we should completely underestimate them. For UTEP is still a rushing team. They're going to ground and pound the game constantly. And they may got more yardage through the air against Arkansas, but that is because they're facing off against the SEC defensive front. So, of course, it's going to be hard to run against that, even though they had about 34 rushes versus 19 passing. So, I expect them to, run the ball a lot more against us. Probably around 40 times or so. So, this is really going to be more of a test for defensive line, see how they can handle that run for last week against Sam Houston, who's still a good team. They got about 300 yards plus rushing against us, and that's pretty inexcusable. And I hope that after having a first game that system, and after the first week of fixing the problems, we can handle the run a bit better before our first big test against Arkansas next week. For if we still allow UTEP to run the ball effectively against us, it's going to be a long season again. This is going to be a game where we can really work on how well we can block the run and see if our defense can force more turnovers like they did in the second half of last game, which I'm going to be excited to see if they can do that. For even if we give up a lot of yardage, if we can still get more turnovers, I'll consider that a success of defense. Not an astounding one, but still a success nonetheless. And like last season, the star running back is Aaron Jones, who is the best player on the entire team, bar none. I mean, for the 14 completions he threw, he got 6 of them, so he's the big target. He's the big offensive player. Taking him out of the game and shutting him down is going to be a major way to make sure this is a pretty handy victory. And the other big player on offense is the other running back, R.A. Gordon, who also got reception, along with a couple of rushing yards as well. So, 7 out of 14 of the passing attempts went to their running backs, so they are the big men and if we shut them down, the little passing attack they do have will be shut down. And the quarterback situation is pretty interesting. They rotate 3 quarterbacks in and out. There's the starter, Mac Leftwich, the 2 freshmen, we have Kabita Johnson, and Ryan Meats. Granted, Leftwich got a whole lot of more attempts than either of them, but all of them were pretty accurate in the throw, so it's not like they're going to be overthrowing or underthrowing a whole lot. So these aren't really bad quarterbacks per se, but I wouldn't say that they're that good. And even though our defense doesn't have the greatest of days, their defense is not that good. I mean, Arkansas really showcased how little of a secondary they have. I mean, they have nothing out there. They couldn't stop the pass all day. They couldn't stop the deep pass. They couldn't stop out to the side. I mean, everything they did on defense was just a complete disaster. This is not a good defense they have. This is a defense that our offense should easily overcome. And with Mahomes in the seat, I'm sure that our interception rate will be probably 0 in this game. This is going to be a field day for him, and it's going to be a fun game to watch for Red Raider fans and fans of blowouts. And it may not be that good of a game for the Miners to watch. Other than scratching their head and wonder what the hell has happened. And that's really about it. Other than, never mind, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that was the turnovers they kind of had, UTEP, for when they started getting behind, their special teams started turning the ball over pretty badly. And that was just one of those things I was just kind of laughing at. I mean, Omni Golden is the only bright spot on that special teams. The rest of them, they can't handle pressure at all. So just try to really force pressure on them doing punts. For if you get pressure on them, then they're trying to punt it. Yeah, expect some sloppy football to be played. But I really do think this should be a easy enough game for us to win. And I am hoping our defense stops to run more often and holds them to, let's say, 150 yards rushing. I think that's reasonable. It's not a great rushing defense, but I don't want to see 300 plus rushing yards from UTEP. Nuh-uh. No. And with this being at home, it's going to be a bit harder for them to accomplish anything. So, what's my final score prediction for this game? I think this is going to be around 38 Texas Tech, 17 UTEP. Until after the game, Raider Nation, guns up, Raider power, and Wreck 'em Tech.